AM, and I am here with my guest co-host, Mr. Willie Epteen Jr. Willie, how you doing today, sir?
I'm trying to figure out who this is I'm on the radio with right now because that don't sound like the Rachel Hill that I know. I'm good. Cleveland, what's going on out there?
I'm just a little congested. That's all.
Oh, okay, because it was like, this is Rachel Hill.
I feel good though.
Well, good. So I can do this then, right?
Yeah.
Cleveland.
Put some bass in your voice today.
What do you mean today?
Today was a long, extended one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I had a little I'm a little excited today. Today is my Friday. So very, very excited about that. I'm kidnapping the wife and we're headed to the mountains.
Oh, really? Okay. What mountains y'all going to?
Ozarks.
Where's that at?
Arkansas.
Oh, okay. How long is it gonna take y'all to get there from where you at?
About 4 hours.
Oh, that's not a bad drive.
Yeah, not at all. Not
Oh,
at
okay.
all. So
Oh,
yeah, we gonna be gone and we got business and pleasure to handle, so it's all gravy.
okay, cool. Awesome. That sounds like that's gonna be a fun time. So, man, let's today some news dropped. David Njoku is probably not going to be able to play because he tested positive. Well, he's in the COVID protocol. So, that's a huge blow because he's the leading receiver on the Browns. Not the wide receivers, but tight end David Njoku. So, yeah, that was the news that broke, and that's kind of devastating to the Browns because they've already had issues scoring. But Willie, I don't know if you know, but a lot of people are thinking that the Cleveland Browns will be able to knock off the Baltimore Ravens because the Baltimore Ravens are not playing that well right now. Lamar's not playing that well, throwing a whole bunch of interceptions. So a lot of people feel as if the Cleveland Browns have a shot in this game coming off of the bye week. And, normally it's hard to beat another team twice back to back. What say you?
Um, well, yeah, it is hard to beat a team back to back. There, we have plenty of data to support that statement, and this will be no different. The difference, or the I guess the analogic thing with this one is that these two teams, or really the Browns, are playing the Ravens in consecutive contests, which we've never seen before, even with a bye week mixed in there. But the Ravens, they dropped one to the Steelers in week 12, and it's so inexplicable because the AFC is really showing that we will never know who's going to be the best team in that conference from week to week. Mm-hmm. Now, I think the Browns will, with them being at home and coming off of a bye, they should be well prepared for a Ravens team that is really just
struggling right now.
Yeah, bombarded with struggles on offense, bombarded with injuries, as it was revealed that Marlon Humphrey, the all-world cornerback, is going to be out for the rest of the year.
He gives us fits too.
Yeah, so now the Ravens are down. Arguably, they're not just their best two players on defense, but it could be on the entire squad outside of Lamar. And so it's all out in front of them. I mean, they have every advantage conceivable and really no excuse to lose this game. I don't think the loss of Njoku is nearly as costly for the Browns as the loss of Humphrey is for the Ravens, but they have it all out in front of them. They got them at home. They got them coming off of a bye week. They got them while they're struggling on offense and defense, but you know how the NFL is, and the AFC has shown us up to this point. It is just at that time when you think when you think you have the teams have a team down, they come back and they'll blow out somebody. So I don't know. I'll say they have a more than a decent chance, all because of those reasons I just mentioned, and we'll see because we just don't know. I mean, the AFC has been it's been like that crooked road going up or down a hill. You just never know. And I didn't mean no pun because your last name is Hill, Rachel, but that's just what it is.
I'm cool with that. There's no worries. I get what you were saying. And, my name was just perfect for that. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the game. If we can get Lamar, our defense, was the star of the last game. If our defense can play lights out like that again, they should have an excellent opportunity to be able to beat Baltimore. And I think Baltimore has over 20 people on IR. So a team that's injury depleted, there should really not be any excuses. The Browns should have beat them prior, a week ago when they had every opportunity to do so. They got four turnovers, from Lamar, and they only was able to score 3 points. Baker has had opportunity to rest up. Hopefully, some of these injuries that have been nagging him, he's had the opportunity to take care of, that torn labrum. That's not going anywhere. So, he's played throughout that. But hopefully, they had the opportunity to work with him and work with some of his skill sets, work on his footwork, work on things of that nature, when the pocket collapses, all those basic things, because, we're seeing that this team, has the ability to get out there and, put up numbers. But, it's inexplicable that I think, five of their last seven games that they've only put 17 points up. What is going on? Stay committed to the run. They didn't really have so much success with the run in the Baltimore game, but I honestly think that they can this time around. Um, I think they can.
And the Ravens defense has been pretty leaky against the run. Uh, and with Chubb and Kareem Hunt's going to be back too, or he's already back, isn't he?
Yeah, he's back.
Yeah. So they look, they have there's no excuse, and they should even. I don't know what the line is on it because I'm not a betting person, so I don't really keep up with
The
that stuff.
Browns are actually favored.
Yeah, and they should be. They should be favored. They should be favored by at least, I would say, 3 points because the Ravens look, the Ravens really have not changed in the last 3 years. If you ask me, they've actually gotten worse. And the reason why they've gotten worse through no fault of their own is because their defense is not what it was. I mean, like I said, they're down their best two players on defense. They were without had been without Marcus Peters all year up until this point. The running game is not anywhere close to what it was when Mark Ingram was there. So if they haven't changed and they've gotten worse, and I'm gonna tell you right now, it would not surprise me at all if Cleveland or even Pittsburgh gets in that spot, and Baltimore winds up on the outside looking in because they've been looking really, really raggedy. And unless they gonna bring back Jamal Lewis or Ray Rice, nah, they're heading the wrong direction. I mean, their arrow is pointed down to me.
Yeah. What did you think? We talked about this yesterday, but what did you think about his decision to go for two?
Whose decision?
Jim Jim Harbaugh or John?
Against
I get them mixed up.
John Harbaugh against the Steelers,
Yeah, when he went for two at the
and
end of the game.
he knows his squad. I mean, they had just lost Humphrey, and he's trying to get out of there with a win. He don't want to play another 10 minutes and risk somebody else getting injured. I mean, I don't blame him. Oh, you're on the road. Might as well try to go ahead and end it. What if what if they would have gone to overtime and then Lamar would have gotten hurt? Their season's done.
Lamar don't ever get hurt.
Well, I'm just saying. I mean, but we can't rule it out because you just said they had 20 other people on injured reserve at one point, or have been on the injury, whatever. So I think,
Lamar's not human.
huh?
Lamar's not human. He's superhuman.
Well, he was human.
He's never been injured.
Well, he was human when he threw 4 interceptions against y'all the last time y'all played him.
Yeah, we was human because we couldn't capitalize off of those either. We
Yeah.
was subhuman.
Now I don't expect for Lamar to throw 4 picks again, but I really don't expect the Ravens to win. There is no reason or excuse why the Browns should not win this game.
2.5 favorite in the game according to typical sports book. The Browns are a minus 135 on the money line, and the Ravens are 109 plus 119.
I don't know what none of that means.
Neither do I. But 2.5 favorite, usually you get 3 for being a home team.
Well, 2.5 really is 3. So they got to win by 3, period, point blank. So, okay, whatever. That's just, to me, as not a person that bets, that's one thing to talk about. But I got a question, though. Yeah. Why is it showing me that tickets for this game are as low as $24?
I don't know. That's weird. Maybe this is the game you should come to.
I mean, I can't, and I would want to anyway. I don't. I mean, I'm just saying. But hey, I need since Baltimore is what 7-5, and the Browns are 6-6.
Yeah.
I don't really need any one team. Well, it would be nice if the Ravens lost. But you know what? It don't even matter because my team is so done. It's the narcotic and the amphetamine and the barbiturate that is the Raider franchise. From Oakland to LA, back to Oakland to Vegas. It is a barbiturate, it is an upper, and it is a downer all at the same time. And I'm getting nauseated just thinking about it.
What's going on with your Raiders?
Oh, we lost to the Washington football team on Sunday. Look.
Hey, they've been playing though lately.
I don't care. Okay. I don't care. you coming off of a 10-game rest period, of which you just won an overtime game in Dallas against the Cowboys, who seems to be everybody's choice to go to the Super Bowl in week 7. But here we are coming into week 14, and it's like, I don't know about Dallas. But we go down there, or we come down here, and we get a victory, go back home. You got it all out in front of you with the Washington football team that's playing on the backup to the backup quarterback. Okay. They have no viable weapons on the outside with the exception of McLaurin. And their defense has been riddled with injury all year. And now you had this game. I think they may have been looking ahead to next week this week against Kansas City. But that ain't gonna matter because Kansas City is gonna destroy us. Again. Man, I have this much confidence in the Raiders even winning another game this year. This much.
Well, I need you to have some more confidence in your team.
Why?
Because it's any given Sunday. You never know.
They do it to us every year.
They do it to us every year. Might happen. What was the score when y'all played this year?
Against the football team?
Against the Chiefs.
41-14.
Oh.
They went on a 27-0 run.
Where's the game at?
It was in Vegas. It was on Sunday night.
So now y'all in
Kansas City. But we did beat them in Kansas City last year. But this Raiders team is not the same as last year's Raiders team. Henry Ruggs III, his absence is proving to be large.
Mm-hmm.
It is large. And I don't know what the heck is wrong with our offensive line. The running game is non-existent. And Derek Carr, he's more than a good quarterback. I won't call him great, but I will call him very, very good. But Derek Carr is not the kind of quarterback that can take a team that has no running game and really no weapons on the outside that can get deep. And what Zay Jones just cannot get open. I mean, I don't get it. You have all this speed, it's like you can't run any routes. So Derek Carr is not the quarterback that can be deficient talent wise around him, and then uplift everybody around him to put 2 or 3 wins on the board by himself. He's not that dude.
Mm. We're gonna have to take a break right quick, Willie. When you come back, you can talk about more about how he's not that dude, and we'll get into a little bit more NFL. We'll play a schedule game. You're listening to Her in the Huddle, WOVU 95.9 FM. We'll be right back. Did you see that? Didn't Golden State and Phoenix play again on Friday?
Mm-hmm.
And Golden State won this time. So we could talk about that in basketball. I know you didn't catch the Cavs game last night against Milwaukee, but they hung in there.
I saw a little bit of it.
Oh, you did?
Mm-hmm.
They had it out there in Texas.
I got this jailbroken Fire Stick, so I can get any game I want.
Yeah, me too.
Well, we can talk about it though.
It's the best, ain't it? Well, yep. I got. I guess we can stretch this football out some more, and then I got NCAA.
Okay.
We could do that at the 30 mark and talk about what Marshawn was talking about.
Okay.
And then 6:45 to 7 NBA.
We got some comments too.
Okay, we can read them. All right, welcome back to Her in the Huddle from WOVU 95.9 FM. This is your girl, Rachel Hill, the First Lady of Sports. And remember, you can always give us a call at 216-271-0959. You can listen to us at WOVU.org. You can download that WOVU app so you can take us with you on the go. Or you can watch us on StreamYard at All Sports All Plays on Facebook.com. You can also go to my webpage to see it as well on Facebook. But Willie said we have some comments on the comment board. Go ahead, Willie. Can you read those off for me, please?
Yes, ma'am. Of course, George B. chiming in, always down for the team. He says the AFC is like an AP poll during the season in football. It changes so fast. And I know we got to talk about what happened last night up in Buffalo. George also says, I'm still trying to figure out how the Pats throw on. Yeah, we're going to get to that, George, in just a minute. Stay tuned. Big game sports buzz. Dallas is a joke and the Raiders are choke artists. Well, wait a minute now. I don't think I've ever seen big game sports buzz on here. You don't know us like that, man, to be talking about my Raiders. Like, no, but I'm just joking. You know what? I'm not going to say they're a choke artist because the Cowboys are probably the choke artists because they are they've been expected to be in the position that they're in really for the last several years, and they've come up short. So they may be the choke artists, and the Raiders may be the joke just simply because it's the Raiders. And I love them. I hate them, and I hate that I love them. So, and then George B says the Raiders lost to WFT, who signed their new kicker 1 week ago. That's right, George. That dude, I can't even think of his name, but he beat us on a 48-yard field goal with I don't know, maybe 27 seconds left or something ridiculous like that. And that was that.
That was it.
That was it.
So I'm looking at the standings now. The Cowboys are 8-4, and I didn't realize that the Raiders were 6-6.
I did.
I know you did. Who they got up next?
Kansas City.
Oh yeah, you mentioned that.
Got Kansas City and then Cleveland, and then the Chargers, and then the Colts, and I think we wrap up with the Broncos.
No, y'all got the Broncos after us,
Okay.
and then the Colts, and
Then the
then the
Colts.
Raiders.
Yeah. So you
I
see,
mean, then the Chargers.
then you see why I say we may not win another game this year.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, they're back in Cleveland. That's another thing about the NFL schedule, like how they come back here again the second year in a row to come play. That's so weird to me. But it's happened to us with Denver before. So, you don't think that they can beat the Broncos? They
I,
got the same record.
I'm gonna tell you this right here: the Raiders really should be 9-3. We should be 9-3. Yeah, we got it handed to us by the Chiefs and the Giants. Well, I ain't gonna say the Giants, but who else? Who else did we lose to that we should have lost to? And the Chargers for sure. Those two games for sure. But you cannot lose to the Giants, and you can't lose to the Bears, and you can't lose to the Washington football team. You just can't do that. You can't lose to those teams when you have playoff aspirations and you're a better team on paper and you have more talented than those teams do. You cannot lose those games. But here, this is what they do to us every single year. The Raiders started out 3-0, then with the 5-3, then with the then with the 6-5, and now here we are at 6-6. Actually, yeah, 6-5, and then had a chance to go to 7-5, and oh my gosh.
I mean, the Colts are only 7-6, so they ain't no world beater. So I
They
think
have
that
the
they would have an opportunity against them too.
Yeah, but they have the best running back in the league,
Yeah.
and and the Raiders have been giving up rushing yards like that old lady on the corner.
On the corner.
Yes, you know,
Yeah.
and I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Jonathan Taylor runs for over 200 yards against us. I'm that sick right now over, and they set us up every year. Every year they set us up. It's not fair.
Calm down. It'll be okay. I don't know. Why do I have more faith in the Raiders than you? I see them being able to get that Bronco game. The Chargers are only 7-5. Why does it seem like the Chargers have won more games, but they only 7-5? So I think y'all win a couple more, Willie. I guess I'm not as pessimistic as you when it comes to your team. I feel like y'all win some more.
Mm, well, I won't say I won't be happy, but let's just say I'll be surprised if that
All
happens.
right. So Monday Night Football, I wasn't able to catch a lot of the game because I was watching our beloved Cleveland Cavaliers. But I heard that Bill Belichick only had Mac Jones throw the ball 3 times in the whole game, and it was mainly a running game. How was the wind? Was it snowing during the game as well?
You know, I don't know what that was. Um, they said it was snow that was blowing, but the wind was so heavy and so gusty, it could have been blowing snow from I don't know Canada. So I don't know if it was actually snowing in Buffalo. Like the real. I mean, the snow that's coming from the sky straight down. So you could tell that the look when they kicked that ball. Oh my gosh, I saw it on the opening kickoff. I mean, I'm sorry, on one of the field goal attempts by the Buffalo Bills kicker. That ball went from left to right, like somebody had put their hand on it and just pushed it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And the Bills, I mean, they had a good strategy, if you ask me, with Josh Allen can throw the ball through anything,
Yeah.
thanks to his strong arm and his ability to do that and his experience playing in Wyoming. Because they had a couple plays that they really should have won the game. They
Mm-hmm.
really should have won the game. They asked Micah Hyde and the other cat in the secondary from the Bills, were they embarrassed? Was it an embarrassing performance by the defense? And they had the nerve to get mad. I mean, they got ran on for over 200 something yards.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah,
know,
that is embarrassing.
Yeah, and they said embarrassing. I don't know, man. What do you mean? We only gave up 14 points. Yeah, but you gave up 200 plus yards on the ground. You could not get them off the field, and you just got beat up physically. So, but give it up to Bill Belichick, man. That's what he does. That dude's gonna be the coach of the year.
Again,
No, he's never won it.
really?
No, he's never won it.
Is it because he's not very well liked?
No, it's because he's had Tom Brady.
Mm.
It's because he's had Tom Brady.
Is that a media award, Coach of the Year?
I have no idea. It may be.
Because that might be a reason why he's not very nice to the media. So that might be another reason why as well, depending on who votes for that. You know.
Well, maybe it's just the fact that he doesn't give the media what they want. It's not that he's mean to him. He's just very short, matter of fact, to the point. Get me in and get me out.
So give people what they want then. Stop acting funny. And maybe he would have won.
He didn't win because he had Tom Brady. I mean, they were expected to go to the Super Bowl. You can't make a coach of the year if they're expected to go to the Super Bowl every year.
Yeah. I mean, he's doing a heck of a job with this team right now. If you look at, how it worked out last year, not making the playoffs and, what they've been able to do is just, short of, not a miracle, but, just amazing with a rookie quarterback and stuff like that. So, I think he deserves it. 9-4, they won six straight. I don't know if that started off with beating us, but they beat
No,
us
it
from
didn't
the
start with beat. Y'all were like the third or fourth victory in a row.
okay,
Yeah.
yeah, from the rooter to the tutor, but I think it's short of marvelous. So I definitely think that he deserves to win. So I'm
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised at all, but this year's Patriots team, just like we talked about with the Raiders and who else we said the Ravens. This is not last year's Patriots team. I mean, I think they
Yeah.
had all those defensive players that opt out because of COVID. And they had
Hmm.
Cam Newton playing quarterback. Come on. They had Cam Newton playing quarterback with no weapons. And he couldn't throw. And he was beat up. And he had COVID. I think they just said we just gonna trick this year off and just be done with it.
Yeah, and that's okay. But they got a new quarterback. Something. It's funny because I don't know if a couple years ago Bill ever envisioned having to get another quarterback. He probably thought him and Tom Brady was gonna be, playing together forever. Why you say that?
Because he wanted Tom Brady to go. He wanted to keep Jimmy Garoppolo. So he did imagine somebody else other than Tom Brady taking snaps from his center because he did not want to trade. He was overruled by Mr. Kraft on the trade of Jimmy Garoppolo to the San Francisco 49ers.
Did you?
Otherwise, Jimmy Garoppolo would be there. We don't know where Tom Brady would be. He may be in San Francisco for all we know, but yeah, that was going to be the deal.
But how could you get rid of Tom Brady, man? It don't even make no sense.
Well, I mean, you're right.
Jimmy ain't did nothing.
Well, Jimmy never really was the quarterback that people were saying that they thought that he was. Not to me. I mean, he had a very small sample size, and you know how the NFL is. It doesn't take them long to get the tendencies and figure out what it is that you do best, or what, and for that matter, what you do worst, and exploit it.
Yeah, I just don't see him do much of anything.
Hmm.
I mean, yeah, San Francisco was able to go to the Super Bowl. Did he start that whole year?
He got injured a couple games, I believe, but they went to the Super Bowl not because of him, but in spite
Right,
of him.
right. Okay. That's all. But, outside of that, it would have, obviously they would have lost that trade if they, kept Jimmy in lieu of Tom Brady.
Hmm.
So, you know, That's just amazing to me, and I think that should be amazing to a lot of people. Bill Belichick wanted to get rid of Tom Brady. You know, he succeeded, and Tom Brady won the Super Bowl, and Bill probably won't be winning the Super Bowl, again.
I don't
So,
know the way that team is playing right now. I mean, they can run the ball, they can stop the run, they can get after the passer. They're playing Bill Belichick old school football when they had, all those dudes, Lawyer Malloy and Ty Law and Richard Seymour, Teddy. They're playing that kind of football on defense.
yeah, he got him playing. I mean, right now they have the second best record to the Chiefs and the Ravens and the
Mhm,
Titans.
mhm.
But they would on the Titans, so
Yep. So they
yep.
beat up on the Titans, and then the Titans beat up, or they didn't beat up on them, but they beat the Bills, and the Ravens and the Titans haven't played this year.
The Ravens and the Titans, you said?
Yeah, they won't. I don't think they play each other this year.
Yeah, I don't think so either. So, because we face the AFC West, so yeah, no, I don't think they're playing. But that should be interesting when we get further down the season, because right now they're in position to make the playoffs and actually be the number one seed.
Ain't that nothing? Who would have thought?
I I just don't see them getting past the Chiefs. I don't see them getting past the Chiefs.
Why not? The Chiefs haven't shown us anything really to make us say that they're back.
Yeah, but they just are always able to put it together when it counts and when they need to put it together, and they know how to win. And Andy Reid is a coach that knows how to win, and Patrick Mahomes is coming back to being Patrick Mahomes. So I think that I think that I don't think that Bill can get past them.
Hmm.
I think it'll be a great game, but I just don't think that team and that Patriots team is a really young team going up against a team that has a lot of experience, a lot of veteran leadership. I don't foresee it happening.
Well, I ain't putting nothing past nobody in the AFC because at any given point they've all looked good, and then at any other given point they've all looked like they suck.
Yeah, all got a whole bunch of stank on them. But Willie,
Hmm.
we gotta take a break right quick. You're listening to Her and the Huddle on WOVU 95.9 FM. We'll be right back. Any more football?
Mm, let me see if there's any new news out there. Nah, there's no real new news out there other than, I mean, Big Ben has already said that he's not coming back next year. I mean, that ain't
Oh,
no.
let's hit that right quick.
Okay. Well, he has he's it's they're saying that it's looking like he's not gonna come back. So that's not really any news. But if you want to speak on it, I mean, that's cool. He shouldn't have come back this year. Last year should have been his last year.
All right.
And they got the Vikings on Thursday.
All right, welcome back to Her and the Huddle, WOVU 95.9 FM. This is your girl Rachel Hill, First Lady Sports, and I am here with Willie Epting Jr. And we were talking some football, and some news that came out today has not been confirmed because Ben I think did not confirm it himself, but it came out that this is supposed to be his last season. So Willie, you said, what did you just say before we came back on here?
Number one, that's not real news. Uh, and number two, he should have quit. Last year should have been his last year.
I thought it was going to be because when he was sitting up there crying on that bench, I literally thought he was going to retire because, I thought he was crying because he didn't want to go out like that. on a loss, get beat as badly as they beat them. So I was thinking, like, he's going to retire. This is it for him. He's sitting up here crying because why else would you be crying? You don't win plenty of playoff games before. You don't lost playoff games before. Why would you be crying unless, this was emotional and this game really meant something and it was your last game? And then they said he was coming back. So I was really surprised by that.
Well, I think he knew at that point because Pouncey probably whispered in his ear while they were sitting on the bench at that time and said, "Yo, man, I'm not coming back. I'm retiring. I'm giving it up." And then they lost their other lineman, Villanueva, to the Ravens. So, I mean, their offensive line was already struggling last year and
Yeah.
really the last couple of years. So you knew it was going to be even worse this year with those two dudes gone. So
Yeah.
maybe he was crying because he wanted one more year, but he knew he was going to probably be getting the stuffing beat out of him because his offensive line was going to be terrible.
Yeah, the Browns had a chance to exploit that in that victory. Unfortunately, they wasn't able to take advantage of the offensive line, a couple weeks ago in that showdown. Once again, held under 17 points. They weren't able to take advantage of that, and you hope in this last game that's going to be in Pittsburgh on Monday night, the Browns will be able to take advantage of what could be Ben's last swan song and hopefully en route to the playoffs.
Yeah, and one more thing before we get off the NFL wagon. We talk about Bill Belichick and the job that he's done in New England and could very well be the probable coach of the year. But what happens if the Steelers happen to get one of those wild card spots with everything that has happened to them the last couple of years, really 3 years? Think about what they did 3 years ago when that was the season that they had to fight him and Mason Garrett, Mason Garrett,
Rudolph.
Mason Rudolph and Miles Garrett, and the Steelers were on their fourth string quarterback that year and end up finishing 500. Now, what happens if they do something miraculous like that this year and actually get into the playoffs? Do we think Mike Tomlin would be the coach of the year? And if he is the coach of the year, would he bail on Pittsburgh because they about to be garbage after this year for probably for a good 3 or 4 years? I would think. What do you think?
He said that there's no booster check big enough to lure him anywhere. So I think he gonna stay. I think he'll take them through this rebuilding mode. That's not. I don't think the Pittsburgh way is to be a quitter. I think he'll
Well,
stay and power through and rebuild the team back to what it used to be. Obviously, they had to figure out who their quarterback is going to be. Could Dwayne Haskins be? Why you say
that dude ain't. He's not an NFL quarterback.
that?
He is not an NFL quarterback. Um, if he was an NFL quarterback, he would be playing quarterback. He was the 16th overall pick in the draft a few years ago, and
Hmm.
still third string on his second team. And he got cut from the team that drafted him. Not because of him going to the strip club, but because he couldn't play. My
Well,
my dog's barking. She agrees with me.
well, it was kind of maybe he shouldn't never got drafted to Washington because that was where he was from. So that little home cooking, I think stifled his career a little bit.
But that just goes to show you the climate that's been in Washington because that was a Daniel Snyder pick. Much in the way that Jerry Jones wanted to pick Johnny Manziel. This was a Daniel Snyder pick when they selected Dwayne Haskins. And
Right.
look at all of the turmoil in the front office that's been going on in Washington since then. I mean, look, since that happened, they're not even the same team anymore. They got a different logo. I mean, they got a different nickname and all that.
Yeah. My thing is, how is it taking them 3 years to come up with a name but it took the Cleveland Guardians just a couple of months, even though the name is trash. It took only just a couple months to come up with it.
What are they going to name themselves? The Washington what? The Monarchs? Can they do that?
They
No,
can.
that was
That
a,
was a Negro League name.
yeah, and it also was a NFL Europe team back in the day. London Monarchs.
Yeah, they can do whatever they want to.
Man, no, they can't. They they've been proven. They've been shown whatever they want to. That's why they looking for a new name now. Shoot.
well, the, well, the name was, kind of bad, but they was the last, team to integrate too. So they don't have the best record on race relations. I forgot who the owner was, but he didn't want no black people on this team. So the Washington Redskins were the last team to integrate.
And Daniel Snyder tried to keep that going. We will never change our name from the Redskins. Say who?
Yeah, money talks with him.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, moving on. So college football bowl series. So Ohio State is playing the Utah Utes.
The Running Utes.
Yeah, so I don't know much about Utah. I guess I gotta look them up. But old Urban Meyer coach team before he
Mm-hmm.
came to
Florida.
Ohio, Florida, and then Ohio State. Yeah, so
Right, right.
he started out at Bowling Green and then went to Utah.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts about that matchup, Willie?
Well, I don't know a whole lot about Utah either, but what I do know about them is that a team that came into Columbus and beat Ohio State, they destroyed twice. They destroyed Oregon in the regular season in Salt Lake City, and then they destroyed them in the Pac-12 championship game in Vegas last weekend. So what that tells me is they're a very physical team. And from what I have seen is that they have one of the best linebackers in the country. I can't think of his name right now. He was actually contemplating going pro last year, but decided to come back. And I think, let me see, I had his name right here. But anyway, Aaron Lowe, that's his name, or Aaron Lowe, Lowe. It just depends on who you are and where you're from. But so anyway, you know, Kyle Whittingham is a winning coach at Utah. I mean, he's taken that team to heights never seen before in that program's history, as they have won the Pac-12 championship and secured this berth in the Rose Bowl. And like I said, they destroy. I mean, the score was 38-10 in the Pac-12 championship game. I did see some of the game, and they just whipped Oregon. And look, they whipped Oregon's coach all the way from Eugene to Miami because he took the Miami of Florida gig.
Mm-hmm.
So, their defense is pretty good. They only have 9 interceptions as a squad, but they have like the 8th most pass breakups in the country. And going against Olave and Jackson and the other kid at wide receiver,
Oh, Jackson and Jigba,
yeah,
and then Garrett Wilson.
Garrett Wilson, and Chris Olave, of course. Look, when you have 3 guys like that on the outside, I know Jackson Smith and Najimba. Did I say it right? I can never
And
say his name.
Jigba.
Yeah, I know him and Garrett Wilson will be playing on Sundays one day. Chris Olave too, probably to a lesser degree, but Jackson is the best of those 3, if you ask me. And that Utah team can get pressure on the quarterback with 4 people, which allows them to play coverage behind it. But they're not like the typical Pac-12 type of team. They remind me more of a old school Big 8 conference squad like Nebraska or OU that would just out physical you all over the place, run the ball down your throat, and then smash mouth you up front with their defensive front. But with all that being said, I don't know how great of a matchup this is going to be, because will Ohio State even really come to play based on them not being in a position that we're normally used to them seeing, and which is in the college football playoff?
Yeah, I'm like, this Rose Bowl is a consolation. I'm like, I don't really care because I'm like, we have a standard and expectations, and I'm like, this ain't it, you know?
Funny
But
how
yeah,
time changes because it used to always be make it to the Rose Bowl, get to the
right.
Rose Bowl, get to the Rose Bowl.
And now the Rose Bowl ain't good enough.
Yeah. Well, a lot of those bowls aren't good enough anymore. Like with like the Cotton Bowl.
The Cotton Bowl is hosting Alabama and Cincinnati. They playing in that bowl.
Yeah, but the thing is that the Cotton Bowl during the BCS era, the Cotton Bowl was not a BCS bowl, which I did not ever understand. They only had what they had: the Rose Bowl, the Sugar Bowl, the Orange Bowl, and the Fiesta Bowl as the BCS bowls. And the Cotton Bowl was had just as much notoriety in history as any other of those bowls, especially with Oklahoma always seemingly in the Cotton Bowl as the Big Eight champion. But then, they would go to the Orange Bowl as the Big Eight champ or the Big 12 champion or whatever the case may be, and they would play all. It seemed like they always played Miami down there because Miami was not in the conference at that time. I'm really showing my age, yo, for real.
Yeah, there's a Bahamas Bowl.
Yeah,
I didn't know that. It's so
the
many
only
doggone bowls.
the only bowl that you need a passport to go play in. Ain't that
Yeah.
nothing?
Yeah, Hawaii Bowl. Man, that's crazy. So many bowls. We're going to take a break right quick. When we come back, we're going to get into some talk about the Cleveland Cavaliers. But yeah, this matchup with Utah should be very interesting. You said they smashed Oregon twice,
Twice.
who Ohio State lost to. So that's going to be very interesting. I think Ohio State will get up for this game, though. After losing to Michigan, I don't think they want to go out losing in the Rose Bowl. So I think that they'll get up for this game. And we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back. You're listening to Her and the Huddle on WOVU 95.9 FM.
Marshawn says he would be available. Oh, for the baseball show. Okay. Need to find out where my dog is parking.
All right, welcome back to Her and the Huddle on WOVU 95.9 FM. This is your girl, Rachel Hill, the First Lady Sports, and I am here with Mr. Willie Epting Jr. Willie, what's up with you, man?
Well, I just got a note from the engineer and the owner of the BGC Sports Network. Of course, that's where you can hear the Shakeback Sports Show as well as the hashtag Brothers of Baseball Show. Just saying to watch the news because the Amazon internet, whatever, is having some serious issues. So, in a season where the supply chain is already busted, now Amazon is having problems. I'm telling you, man. Woo! This technology, look, it's going to either break us or it's going to kill us.
Blame the pandemic, man. Once the pandemic happened, our lives changed, you know, uh, forever. And it's crazy. It's so
Mhm.
crazy. And 2021 passed so fast. I'm hoping 2022 doesn't pass as fast as 2021, but like literally 2021 was like the fastest year of my life. I think that's because things started to get back to normal and stuff like that. But it's kind of crazy, man. So let's get into these Cleveland Cavaliers. You had a chance to watch them take on the um,
Milwaukee Bucks.
thank you. And it was a loss last night, but you know what? The Cavs were in it pretty much the whole game. They put together some runs. They kept catching back up. I mean, Giannis is just, they don't call him a freak for nothing. And, he's just amazing. He gets what he wants in the paint. He even stepped back and took a couple threes. Chris Middleton, helped. And, unfortunately, the Cavs just didn't have enough firepower at the end to match it. And then they coming off of a back to back. Is this the first time you've seen the Cavs play?
Yeah, I caught a little bit of the game last night, and last night was probably most I've watched them this year. I'm gonna be honest with you, they're not far away.
Oh no, not at all.
They are
Marshawn
not
say,
far away at all, and I'm pleasantly surprised because what is that? I'm pleasantly surprised because everybody was like, "Yo, it's gonna take another LeBron type of talent before the Cavs even come close to getting to the playoffs again." But I want to ask you about Okoro. What happened to him last night? 0 points, -20 differential
yeah,
on the floor.
his offense is not the best at all. He was mainly drafted for his defense, and you're hoping that he can prove offensively, but he is a weak leak out there.
And look, Kevin Love, he was on fire in the first half, 3 of 6 from the land of three, looking like the Kevin Love that was in Minnesota.
Yeah.
I if they can get anything from Kevin Love, I mean, if they can get a performance not consistently like that all the time, but can mirror that, most of the time, that would be an added help. Now, there's gonna have to be some. They're gonna have to do something at the deadline. They're either gonna be buyers or sellers. I would think. What do you? I mean, what's the climate? What are they saying up there? Because
Um, I think that they're gonna have to make a trade. I was just thinking about this earlier today. I think that they're gonna have to make a trade because you need to get somebody that can, you know, DJ Cristal was like, no. He's like, why? DJ Cristal's like the team as is. I prefer getting somebody who can, create off the dribble. Because remember, you lost Colin Sexton, and that was, your points getter right there. But it's managed to work, with Darius Garland. But I do, despite what Cristal said, feel like there needs to be a trade. The thing is, I don't want anybody to leave the team, but you'd have to have somebody has to go. And the way this team is playing together, they're gelling together, they're playing for one another. I'm like, this is one Cleveland team that it looks like they genuinely love each other, and
mhm.
they're playing for one another, things that you don't see that often. Usually it's about somebody getting their stats, getting their numbers, almost like a Russell Westbrook type thing. But this team truly enjoys going out and just playing basketball. They say that the chemistry is phenomenal, and I don't want to break that. But right now, where they're sitting in seventh place to make the playoffs. So, if they keep playing like this, they could be in the playoffs. So, first time since LeBron has been gone, but they honestly could make the playoffs if they keep playing at this pace throughout the season. They're in there.
And this would be the first time a Cleveland Cavs team that would make the playoffs with no LeBron James since what,
The
ninth
90s,
ninth what season was that when
the
it,
90s,
it was nothing in the two, well, because LeBron got there in 2003 or 4.
yeah, 2003.
Yeah, okay, so man, that tells us a few things in itself. It tells us, number one, that LeBron James is truly the GOAT of this generation. He
Yeah.
really is. He really is the GOAT of this generation. Now, how can you be the GOAT but only of a generation? I don't know. Generational greatest of all time, the G GOAT. How about that? And then number two, it it just goes to show you how the league has changed in the last 20 years. What is it, LeBron's 21st year this year? Yeah,
No, I think it's his 17th,
18th year. Okay, 17th,
yeah,
18th year.
18th.
So 20 years, rounded up. To see the league and how it has changed over the last 20 years is is phenomenal. I can remember those games that were, 94 to 89. That's not going into the fourth quarter. That's a final.
Hmm.
And I actually enjoyed those games more than this free flowing stuff now. When I played point guard, I was small, but I was very physical and I would get in your face and I like to play defense. And this version of the NBA, I would it would I wouldn't fit because
And playing no defense.
yeah, and because not only that, I mean, when the style of play is like that, it gives players like me an opportunity to have a chance to be able to play and be able to contribute. But when you switch it to what it is now, free flowing, and you got 6'9" guards and that's got a handle and can take you off the dribble and can shoot from anywhere on the floor. That puts people like me into the G League
Hmm.
almost immediately. So, selfishly, and then of course, man, all my favorite players have been the smaller people. Like Isaiah Thomas is my favorite player of all time. And hands down, will always be just that. I patterned my game after that dude.
Michael Jordan will always hate Isaiah.
Yeah, and Isaiah will always. And since I am an attachment of Isaiah, that means I will always hate Michael Jordan.
But do you?
Michael Jordan?
Yeah.
Oh no, I hated the Bulls, man.
Yeah, I know, because they
I
won too much.
hated the Bulls.
Yeah, I did too.
Well,
I,
you had very good reason, as I did.
yeah,
So yeah, it's I think the Cavs are the arrow is definitely pointing up. Now, let me ask you a question. Being in the city,
yeah.
I know that this dude has had gained a lot of hate. What is the vibe now in regard to Coach Bickerstaff?
I think they realize, that this is a young squad and he coaching them up. So I don't think that, it's as much hatred for him as there used to be because they're seeing progress. So I think that, that's pulled back a little bit because they see that he's coaching the squad up and, they're actually winning games and they're competing every night. So, I don't know about, like, everybody knows that the defense needs to improve and they need to stop with turnovers, but I think that people are coming around on him.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
That must feel good for him because
Mhm.
it is a young team, and when you have a young team, there's going to be turnovers. There's going to be foul trouble and all that good stuff because these kids are just learning how to play on the NBA level.
Yeah, but they're in every game too. And last night they were in every game. Like, of course Milwaukee pulled away at the last minute, but they were in that game.
Mm-hmm.
So that I think that's what people are liking to see that progress because pretty much, and we got like a minute left. Cleveland Cavaliers basketball was unwatchable. And now it is the hottest ticket in sports. Right now, one of the cable channels, doesn't exist for people. So people are mad that they can't catch a Cavs game. So Cavs games are must see television now.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Glad for y'all.
Yeah. I watch them every night. So, but, Bully, that's our time, man. That show enough passed fast.
It always does when you're having fun.
I know, yeah. And make sure you keep it locked for Willie's Shake Bag Sports Show, and I'll be uh, guesting on that tonight. So super excited to be on that. And we about to go. So you've been listening to Her in the Huddle on WOVU 95.9 FM.